Here's a look at the markets for Wednesday, July 29th. This is the market profiles from today and overnight. Here's the overnight, and here is today's profile here. So we've got several days here. So we always like to start our analysis using our market profiles at eMiniDayTrader. We take a look at the overnight session, the day session, and of course the background, which is days in the past as well, to get as good an indication of the condition of the market as we possibly can. By the way, this video that I'm doing here is usually going to last about 4 or 5 minutes. Only has 4 charts in it. The ones that we post every day on our website is usually 15 to 20 minutes with many more charts and a lot more detail. The charts are marked up and so forth. At least doing it this way, we can relay a few of our ideas as far as trades that we took and our ideas on what the market is up to. So the market did overnight. You can see it barely took out yesterday's low, and you can see here in the day session we did not take out the overnight session. Yesterday I mentioned that I was slightly bullish going into today, in the sense that I thought that the market had like a 51% chance of rallying as opposed to selling off. In other words, not very convincing. As it turned out, the market ended up basically closing where we closed yesterday. I think the difference was maybe 2 ticks. So, however, I would say that our chances of moving higher are much greater than 51%. And more importantly, if it does move higher, especially above, well, let's call it around the 77 area, it could have a pretty strong move, and then we're looking at about a 30-point potential up to 1006 as our next target, if the buyers should reemerge. Right now, they're just, in our opinion, just kind of keeping their heads above water. They're, basically treading water here, but not allowing the sellers to pull them under. Every time they do, they pop their head back up. So the attempt by the sellers today was obviously pretty weak, though they did give it a good shot. The market turned around and had a nice 10-point rally to close the day. Here's a look at the individual charts, and you can see that we just had these value areas just moving sideways here for several days. Here's our directional bias indicator. We had no strong buy or sell indication today. We only had 3 colors showing, 3 different colors. It was either red, neutral, or bullish. Green is obviously bullish, red is bearish, and the black bars are neutral. We also have 2 other colors, a dark red, which is strongly bullish, and a dark green, which is strongly bearish. We never did get either one of those today. As far as our trades were concerned, we had a nice early trade. Unfortunately, we got nicked on it here. We got long in here and backed off a little too much before it had to move up. So it was, the market was pretty volatile there in the first 30 minutes, and we did have a setup and a trigger, so we took it and we got stopped out. But it was interesting to note that even getting stopped out on that trade, structurally speaking, if we had put our stop in structurally, which in this case it would have been a 3-point stop, it would have kept us in the trade for a nice 5-point rally if we had used that structurally based stop. But a little bit too much. That's twice of what we usually use, so stopped out on that one. Then we did have a nice deceleration in here and in here. The second one actually qualified. The first one here, our bias, did not allow us to get in that, but this trade was nice. It hit our first 2 objectives. We only ended up with a couple other long trades late in the session. Good deceleration here, so we had a long trade here and another long trade here. We were looking to get into another long trade here, but we just never got our signal. So we ended up with a nice long trade here, hitting both of our objectives on this one, both of our objectives on this one, and unfortunately stopped out on that first one, even though it did have that nice move in our direction after a little bit more than a pullback than we like to see. So you can see here that that's where Actually only ended up with 4 trades today, and the blue and the red is what you see there. So that's a look at the trades and what our expectation is for tomorrow. Any questions or comments, we can be reached at eMiniDayTrader.com. Thanks for taking the time.